Hey, good morning, family. Good morning, God's people. Uh, Happy Saturday, and thank you for joining me again for a radical fall to grace. My testimony and my opportunity to give God all the glory I can muster up. This is part 79, and man, it's moving right along. I've had quite an eventful morning, man. This has been great. It's 2026 now, and we had our first men's meeting of the year. Our men's meeting is titled, we call ourselves the Men of Valor. It's the Men of Valor meeting, which is, a fulfillment of a prophecy and a declaration my mother and father have made over me my entire life. So I've got a business, a ministry called Men of Valor. It's called actually Move Care, Men of Valor Enterprises, MOVE. And also co-lead a men's ministry called Men of Valor. And we just meet and play some games, eat some food, and then have a devotional discussion time at the end for about an hour. We just allow men to share what's on their hearts and what's on our hearts, and just uplift the name of the Lord, sharing each other's victories, and also sharing each other's burdens, help carry each other's burdens, and day by day make it through to the next thing. And it was brought up in the meeting. We had a really powerful meeting today, and it was brought up in the meeting, something that I had kind of forgotten for a little bit. A time that I was sent back to jail after being clean and sober and walking with the Lord for an entire year. And I say an entire year, to some of y'all that sounds like a short amount of time, but when you were a degenerate like myself, a year was a huge mile marker. And so I had been walking with the Lord. I'd been clean and sober for a year. This was about 3 years ago, and doing everything I knew to do, and I expected my life to start to take this new trajectory and for things to look a certain way. And going back to jail was definitely not in the plan for me, or it's not what I foresaw happening. But I also remember at that time, and in that time, raising my hand, as did Isaiah, and saying, "Here I am, Lord, use me. Send me wherever you will. Do with me as thou wilt." And I remember the attitude and the amount of peace that I had in that moment, even when it felt like going backwards or tragedy struck, that the Lord gave me such a peace about it, because I had been taken to jail many times before that for things I had done wrong, and every time rightly so. But this was the only time that I had been taken to jail, or what I prefer to call being sent to jail for something I didn't do, but it was for the purpose of the Lord. And how he just got the glory out of that, how people were watching, and how I would respond. Would I stay true, keep the faith? Would my attitude and my disposition and my heart be right in it? And glory to God, I just got a testimony today from a guy who watched that process, who was in our men's meeting, and he talked about how he was just so amazed and encouraged by how I dealt with that situation. And it was only God in me. But I felt like I was sent there on a mission because I was the person most suited and fit for that task, because I had been there and so many times, and I was able to minister to men, lead men to Jesus. I started a Bible study and prayer circle in there, and started off with me and one other guy, and by the end of it, the entire pod of 48 people were involved in that prayer circle and Bible study. And men came out of that jail later on and reached out to me, and I was able to sponsor them and lead them to the Lord and help them change their lives. And it's just been a wonderful thing. At the end of the men's meeting, I had a conversation with some very dear friends of mine who were going through some things in their life, and we just talked about the attitude and the heart posture that the Lord requires of us, and how he's working in just these small incremental changes in our lives, and how he's changing our attitude toward things. And it was just so impactful to hear that God is doing a lot of the same things in the lives of those around us. Praise God.